Welcome to Tony's Photography Corner. What we've got here is a slideshow of my recent trip to Norway. This is something I've been planning for the last year or two, really. If you check out my main camping channel under my name, Tony Hobbs, then there's more from this trip. From the camping side, this is just a few photos, that I took on that trip. Please do excuse my throat. I've been back 3 weeks, and unfortunately, that entire 3 weeks, my dad's been in hospital, and 3 days after coming back, my mum passed away. And then I ended up catching some bug. But Dad was tested positive for COVID in hospital. So whether what I've got was COVID, I don't know. So we're just going to have a little chat, really. Basically, I took my D850 and I took my Z8 Nikon cameras. And I was originally planning on trying to do some filming with the Z8. But unfortunately, I went and left my Z8 in the dome, and I only took the D850. So these photos that you're looking at here are from the Z8 before I went camping. And then there'll be some photographs that I took in camp at the very end of the trip on the D850. This has been an interesting little experiment because I have done a little bit of research on how to do a slideshow on Adobe Premiere Pro. So this is why we've got a little bit of fancy stuff going on here. Basically, I managed to get the vertical picture in the middle of the frame, and then with a little bit of learning on YouTube, I was able to figure out how to fill the rest of the frame. Basically, this is my friend Bjorn out in Røros Arctic Dome, Røros, Norway. I booked his little glamping dome via booking.com, but next year I will book directly with him, and I will return, and I will try to save a little bit of money by booking directly with him. But he took me out on his skidoo, and basically this little series here is where we did a little bit of trout fishing. This was on the first day where he was drilling holes in the lake just behind his property, and where I will be setting up camp a bit later. Yeah, so basically this is just setting up holes in the lake, dropping lines through so that we could catch some trout, which we did do. The next day, we returned the next day, and 10 holes, 10 trout. That was a good catch. And he invited me to evening dinner that evening, and I had some nice tasty trout. So yeah, so we're now slowly coming to the end of this series of pictures, and we're just slowly making our way towards the end of the trip. There, good timing, Tony. So this is basically the very end of my trip. So like I said, do check out my Tony Hobbs camping channel if you're interested in actually following along this trip. But basically, as I mentioned, I had planned on taking the Z8 and doing some filming with that camera. My usual stuff, the actual video content wouldn't have been any different. I just would have done it on the camera rather than rather than on the, you know, the GoPro thing. But I picked up the wrong one. So at the very end of the trip, I took some photographs on the D850 with my old trusted 14 to 24 wide angle 2.8 lens. And because there's a lot of snow, and I haven't done a huge amount, I haven't done any photography, to be fair, in the last 15 years. So it's kind of I just really just want to try and get back into it, because it is a passion of mine that I've enjoyed really all my life. These are all JPEGs because my computer is too old for the raw files on the Nikon Z8, although this is the D850, but I just wanted to keep things really simple. So these are just JPEG files. One thing that I did do, because there was a lot of snow, I exposure bracketed. In other words, I opened up the exposure. This one is maybe 0.7 or 1 exposure bracket over. My brain, like I said, I'm still trying to get over this fluey thing, and I just really want to get this series of videos from this trip done. So I do excuse the amateurish of this narration. I haven't done any preparation for it. I'm just winging it. And I know that the one or two of you that are going to watch it are going to support the channel anyway. The rest would have turned off by now, which is more than fine. So yeah, so basically stop. The brain kicked in. Yeah, so basically I opened up 0.7 or 1 stop to let in just a little bit of light, because obviously when you're around a lot of snow, it's very white, and the metering system sees all of that white. It's kind of like blinded by it, so it darkens the picture a little bit. So you just need to tell it, no, we want this snow to look white, not grey. So you just need to open up a little bit. So I was just experimenting, you know, a little bit with exposure bracketing and just opening up 0.7 or 1 stop. I never opened up more than 1 stop. Basically, I really do like my 14 to 24 wide angle lens. So I was just looking around camp at different things to photograph. And in this series of photographs here of this little tree, you know, basically you'll see that even if you only have a wide angle lens and you only have limited things around you to photograph, there's always something to photograph. And I rather did like, you know, the composition of this happy little tree and the shadowing and the clouds and the blue sky and everything. It was really nice. I did like that tree. I think it's probably a silver birch. This whole area, despite it getting down to -20 or more in the winter, this is a deciduous area. There's very few, if any, conifers or evergreens or anything like that. Nearly all are deciduous, and I think a lot of these are these silver birch type trees. So yeah, we took quite a few of one silver birch, different orientations and such on that. So that was a nice, and this was very close to camp. What I just wanted to show with this image here, as you can see on the bottom left, is my shadow, and I've just put this one in at the very end. This is really just, you know, when you're taking photographs, just keep an eye on composition, look all around the frame. Obviously I saw that my shadow was there, and then I moved for the previous photos. This is a collapsed igloo that Bjorn had built recently. So yes, I'm hoping that when I go back next year that we will have a chance to do some igloo building out there with the Igloo Ed's Icebox. So check out Chris Townsend's blog posts on igloo building and such. And this is literally next to camp. And I just, again, with this photograph, I think in this one I probably opened up 0.3 or 0.7 just to try and keep the snow looking white and not grey. I wanted to get the bleakness in of the snow and everything, but also try and get some composition in, you know, of the trees and such. And then obviously here we've got some greenery in the bottom left, as it were, just leading up into the few trees and shrubs in this little area here. And I've obviously just taken a couple of photos there, but I actually did rather like the cloud formations in this shot here. It's really quite nice cloud, and again we've managed to keep the snow pretty white. This would probably have been wide open or the widest angle setting here of 14 to 24. And as I say, my original plan was to film with the Z8, and in the end all I managed to do was film, as in take some photographs, on the D850, and that's how we've got this slideshow. But it was interesting to learn how to put a slideshow together, you know, for YouTube, and then it's something that, you know, I can do in the future. I just wanted to get something up for this channel. You know, it was kind of a last minute, what on earth can I do? I haven't got, what am I going to film photography wise? And spring has arrived. As I was leaving, the lake was still frozen. It'll stay frozen for another month. And then they will be putting the boats out on the lake and fishing from boats. But it was starting to thaw some of the snow on some of the lower areas. So here again you can see, you know, some of the undergrowth and everything slowly starting to poke through. This picture is just a little bit darker, isn't it? So maybe I needed to open up a third of a stop. As I say, these are JPEGs and I have not edited anything, so straight out of camera. As I say, my last 3 weeks have been everything has happened, so I just simply wanted to get something out so that the 1 or 2 loyal followers have got something to follow along with. And again, just more stuff. I should have opened up a list. This one's a little bit too dark, isn't it? But again, the other thing of my channel is I don't necessarily want everything to be perfect. I want that we can evolve the channel, evolve what we're learning, evolve what we're doing. And if we don't get it exactly right, that's more than fine. We will learn as we go together. And again, this one probably should have been opened up a tiny bit. You can see that the snow doesn't really look white as such. It's a little bit grey. So this one I think should have been opened up a third of a stop. Yeah, a little bit whiter there. Maybe on that one I'd taken one stop, and then this one I just maybe opened up a third on that one. We're kind of going through these photos almost blind here. What I like with this photograph though is just personally I just like the composition of this one. You've got the tent just on the right in the middle by its little lone tree, and then on top of this small little hill there are 2 little trees, you know, shaping out the foreground with the tent, you know, in the background. And then in this one, obviously, yeah, I should have opened up this one a little bit more. But with this one, we've just got the Rhoros Valley ahead of us. And that would have been the way back the next morning. Basically, we've just got another tree. It's just got a lot of trees here. I probably should have edited this down a little bit more so we didn't have quite so many of the same things, but it's just nice to see. I quite like this one again. Nice cloud formations, a little bit on the dark side to be fair. Again, I think I should have opened up. But if you open up too much for the foreground, then the sky's going to get blown out a little bit. But yeah, I think it was getting into the evening as well. So this was, I think, about 6 o'clock in the evening. So it was slowly getting, a little, the sun was going down. So it was starting to get, a little bit darker as well. And I think the sun would probably have been behind those clouds in the background there. So yeah, it was getting quite dimpsy. Is that a southern word, dimpsy? It was getting quite dimpsy by this time. We are coming near the end of my little presentation here, so I'll just quickly say thank you very much. If you have just taken the time just to listen through my wafflings and ramblings of a demented nutcase. Just very quickly with these photographs here, I just wanted to get this this sort of undergrowth and shrubbery in the foreground with the little trees on the left, and then the quite vast expanse of, well, vast, but expanse of white, ahead. And this is the last one. This is me just looking down at my pacer poles and my snowshoes that got me through this area. Many thanks for watching. We will try and do more video and photo stuff on this channel in the future.